All right. Good evening and welcome to the Immersive Experience, a podcast about you, for you, from you. We are going somewhere that I think a lot of us say we want to go, but very few of us actually are prepared to go there. We're talking about accountability. And I don't mean awareness because awareness is only the beginning. You become aware of your patterns and still continue them. You can understand your trauma and still use it to justify how you treat people. You can know exactly where something came from and still refuse to take responsibility for what you do with it. Accountability asks something so much heavier of us. It asks us to look at ourselves honestly enough to say, I see what happened to me, but also it makes us look at what I became because of it. You feel me? And that's a very different conversation. So today I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to bring some things to the light and figure out how we would be able to really get to the bottom of what accountability is. I feel like a lot of us talk about it, uh, and we require it from so many other people. And I don't know, like, because the fact that it's so common, it just makes me kind of feel like, are we saying that we want accountability just in the sense of, oh, I did this, now you're aware of it? But I do believe that there is a higher calling because the same accountability that we ask for from other people is the same accountability that we ourselves must obtain as well. So not to just have that one ideology of it. So, what's up, Mr. Accountability? How you feeling? How you feel?
Yo, yo, you know me. Just chilling, just chilling. Another day, another day.
Another day, another day.
Yes, ma'am. How you doing?
I'm all right. I can't complain. I think this subject should be right up your alley because your name is Mr. Accountability. So, I think I think you might have a lot to say about this. So, just I want to ask you first, when you hear the word accountability, like what does that mean to you?
Um, it's a process. It's a process of, for one, understanding choices. Like your choices in your life, you got to be able to understand that you make them. Like once you know that you make them, you got to understand why you made them, the effects of why you making them. Like after that, is more steps of, okay, I see what I did, I see why I did it, I see how I did it, I see where I went wrong or where it went good or what I could have done better. Now I gotta be accountable for my actions that I chose and, in a sense, make more actions. I gotta really understand that, hey, I chose to take option B. My apologies on option B. Whether it's I'm apologizing to myself, whether it's I'm apologizing to somebody else, my actions now have to show my apology. If not, then it meant nothing. Accountability doesn't come into play if you don't do anything behind it. That's not accountability. That's just saying, "Oh, I messed up."
I could agree with that. I think I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people that I run into and I hear them talk about accountability, it is more it's more of the latter. Like I don't think accountability is just a sorry. Like you can't just come and tell me, oh, like I got a poem that say, oh shit. I don't know if you heard it before, but it's called Broken Translation.
I believe so.
And it start off and say, I'm tired of the part where words flow, but actions never follow. How people learn to say shit, but it just be hollow. Cause what's an apology without changed behavior? I'm learning that words alone can't be my only savior. And I done heard it all before. Every version of every flavor, I'll do better consistently turns into maybe later. And also, if you guys are watching, go ahead and comment and tell us what you think accountability is, or what accountability is to you when you hear the word, what it means to you when you hear it. Cause I would like that. I would like to know those things. So also, what is something that you became aware of about yourself that you could no longer unknow? And what did that awareness require you to actually do?
What I became aware about myself. When I stopped um using it, when I stopped using reason and calling, I stopped using excuses and calling them reasons. So many times I told myself, "Oh, that's the reason I did that. That's the reason I did that." When in reality, that's an excuse. I had to relearn that a lot of these excuses I'm using, I'm saying they're reasons, but in reality, they're not reasons. They're just excuses of me choosing as to why I chose not to do these things.
Right.
What was the second part of your question?
Uh, I had two parts to it. And what did awareness require you to actually do? Like,
It required me to actually sit with myself and realize I'm in these positions in my life because of myself. Like I had the time, I burned the time for no reason. Everybody get the same 24 hours. What you do with it is on you. So it required me to really sit and think like, wow, like I really could have used that time better. And I chose not to because I made excuses and called them reasons.
I guess I wouldn't say that accountability has ever been hard for me. I think that a lot of people function in different ways, and I say accountability ain't never been hard for me simply because people have always held me accountable, essentially, and I don't really know how to like. Hello, Miss Gucci.
Well, hello, good evening.
Good
Hello,
evening,
hello.
and
How are
yes.
you, Mr. Accountability?
I can't
Pleased to meet
complain.
you.
It's Sunday. You as well.
I know that's right. Yes. My apologies for being a little late, but I'm here.
Oh no, don't worry, don't worry. So before we go any further, I ask you the same question. What
Okay.
uh what do you hear when people say accountability, what does that mean to you?
Um, that just means like doing the right thing, like hold yourself to a higher standard, knowing that, you fucked up. You can admit to it, you can own it. Hey, I know what I said was wrong. I just want to come back and let you know XYZ, and I know I fucked up.
Okay. That's it. No other actions needed after that.
What do you mean by no other actions needed?
Um no,
Because accountability is basically you're owning up to what you did or said.
I don't fully agree because technically
Okay.
speaking, so let's say you and I are in a relationship, right? And you're telling me
Okay.
how you feel about something that I did. You're pretty
Okay.
much telling me to take accountability. So most people will just like, oh, you're right. You know what? My bad. But me saying my bad don't do nothing if I'm gonna do it again. That's not being fully
Exactly.
accountable.
That's not being held accountable. That's condoning. You're tolerating that. No, we're not doing that.
okay. So you do believe that accountability require action.
It does. Yeah.
Some yeah, something else
Because if
gotta
there's no
come.
action, then there's no accountability. Because how did you learn
I
from that
agree.
moment? How did you learn from
Right.
that moment? So yeah,
Exactly. So you're supposed to have some like little learning lessons and stuff like that. So and that's what I
correct.
was saying before you came on was essentially that I've always had to be accountable for my person. I ain't never had a opportunity. I feel like it's kind of like Gil Scott Heron talk about when he say that the black people have always had to carry the process with the process. Well, for me myself, I've always had to carry all of my shit with me, and not that I didn't want to. It's just I found it so much more easier. And it's time where I try to like shuck that responsibility of being accountable, even when it came to image essentially. Even looking in the mirror and thinking to
Hmm.
myself, okay, well who told you such and such or who made you feel some type of way? Like you gotta become I don't know, accountable for yourself in ways that you ain't never think you had to really be accountable for yourself.
I agree
Cause
with that. Yes.
it's looking at those little places that make you think about all of the things that you could have done differently. Cause what's this one thing to sit around and hate something about yourself when you got the ability to change it? Would anybody like to add anything to that?
No, I definitely agree. Like I said, we look at ourselves every day, and we don't want to be accountable for ourselves. Whether that's how much money we make, the job we at, the school we go to or don't go to, the things we do with or without our kids or not for our kids, like health wise. Like a lot of people look at yourself every single day, and we don't even hold ourselves accountable to what we actually want. We just tell ourselves, "Oh no, I want better. I want better." When you gonna stop wanting it and go out and do it?
Mhm.
Hmm.
I feel that. So
I
I
feel you. I
asked,
feel you.
can trauma explain a pattern without absolving us from responsibility for perpetuating it? So basically, can trauma explain a pattern without saying we no longer have to be responsible for continuing our own demise or continuing that habit within ourselves on our own accord?
I feel like people hang on to trauma in a lot of ways. Now I get it. Some trauma is out of your control. Some of it is.
Yeah.
The trauma that's out of your control, people hang on to that so much. It's ridiculous. At some point, you got to let it go. If you don't let it go, then you're
Mhm.
choosing not to let it go. Now you got to be accountable for your choice of wanting to hang on to this instead of growing, even though
I agree.
it was uncontrollable trauma, right? Like hypothetically speaking, let's say a 13-year-old girl is coming home from school, right? And she's not dressed any kind of way. She got on jogging pants and a hoodie and a book bag, right? And some
Right.
older man decides, oh, I want to rape her today, right? Those kind of things happen. Those are uncontrolled trauma. But even still, with those, a lot of people hang on to that. It's not a good thing it happened. No, it sucks that it happened, 100%. But you still have to keep going. And to be able to keep going, you got to understand that it happened. I'm just gonna be better. And not that you made a mistake, that you got to be better. It's more of I'm gonna keep being better, a better person in general. I'm not gonna hang on to it and think, oh, well, all guys are this way, or um, all men do this, or anything. I know that he made his choice. It sucks that he made that choice and it affected me, but he made his choice. So now I'm gonna make mine to wash away with all that shit and just keep going in my life.
So, Miss Gucci, let me ask you why you think it's easier to identify what someone else did to us than to identify what we participated in for ourselves.
You said, what did we participate in for ourselves? I didn't hear the first part. I'm
Why
sorry.
do you think it's easier for us to identify what someone else did to us opposed to us being able to identify how we participated and what happened to us ourselves?
Mm. Sometimes that could be, depending on what it is, that could be a trauma response. That's like for me, I don't like someone yelling at me. You know what I'm saying? And especially after, I told you. It's like, okay, the first time it's kind of like okay, but still not okay. But if you continuously do, it's like, okay, why are you doing this? And then I already told you it's a trigger for me. Why are you doing it? But if I do it back to you and now it's a problem, and then you're mad at me. And then it's like you're not mad at that situation, you're mad at the response that I gave, the reaction rather that I gave.
Mhm.
And to add to that, simple phrase, it's easy to point the finger.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe
yeah.
that. Because I made a status the other day and it was talking about how, we never, I forget what I wrote exactly. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it was something about how we run from real conversations essentially. Well, we run from real accountability essentially because it requires so much more of us. It requires you to
Because
be patient.
you have to open and release yourself to that. That's why. And a lot of people, they don't want to do that. You
Hmm.
have to
Hmm.
want to, if you want to be better, you have to do better.
Hmm.
Well, why
And you
do
got
you
to
think
understand the
people
part you played in it.
Exactly. Because if, we're all adults. So if we cannot sit up and have that uncomfortable conversation to be better friends or whatever the case may be, it's like, what are we doing here? We should be able to
you
discuss
think
whatever that
people
it
really
is.
want that, though?
I'm sorry, go
I
ahead.
think I, do you think people really want that?
No.
Yeah, not everybody. Some people are okay with it, but some people are like, nah, I'm not dealing with that. Oh, you got me fucked up. Okay, I'm gonna shut down. All right, I'm hanging up. All right, I'm blocking you.
I don't know. Maybe the bigger thing is because I don't want to blur the lines between accountability and somebody more so stepping on your boundaries essentially. Because it's been a lot of times, and maybe I could talk to this from like experience. Because it's been a lot of times where I'll be on the phone with somebody, and they'll be done saying something to me or something of that nature, and I'm sitting there and I'm trying to tell them like, hey, like I'm trying to have a conversation with you, like I'm trying to tell you something real quick. Hold on, and they'll just be and I'll be like, you know what? That's all right. I'll talk to you later. And I hang up, like not trying to be like rude or nothing like that, or but it was really a moment of, well, I guess I felt you
Okay,
wasn't
so
here.
can I okay, so let's do this. So let's bring up that situation from Friday night.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so this young lady, Desilu, was with me. So it's a friend that I like and he likes me, whatever. So in a nutshell, hey, can you have a drink with me? Or do you want to have a drink with me? Okay, I'm already drinking. Okay, have your drink, enjoy it. Have a great evening. I hung up. He called me back. I didn't answer. He called back again. So are you gonna slide or what? And then I did. And then it's like, so are you coming outside? I'm not coming outside. Are you gonna come in? No, I'm not coming in. Okay, then click. I'm hanging up. Cause what is the point of me doing it? And then there's someone else in there with you. I'm not doing that. Absolutely
Okay.
not.
Okay. So in that sense, you got to be accountable because
Hmm.
so the first people always show you one thing first, and then they show
Of
you the
course they do.
same thing in a different way. He showed you
Yep.
in the beginning when you had a conversation about the drinks, right? And
Correct. And I peeped that.
the way he responded, you was like, nah, I'm cool. Bye. Right? Click, hang up.
Yep.
Once you answered the other time, and he said, okay, come through and slide or whatnot, right? Now you
Hmm.
chose, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and ignore the first thing and go anyway. So it's like, in that sense, you got to
Yep.
be accountable for the fact that you chose to get up and give, in a sense, another chance for already doing one stupid thing. Now he leaves the door open to him do another stupid thing.
Correct. I agree with that. Then I shut it down. Okay. Again, enjoy your evening. So you came here just to leave? I mean, if you told me prior the arrangement, I would never came. But I said also with that, you were already drinking, and I expressed this to him. So you were already drinking. So that already meant I'm already tied up, whatever. And again, I peeped that. So I don't know why your reaction was that way to me. You get what I'm saying? But yes, I do hold myself accountable for that because that was two fuck ups. So I said, you know
His
what? You call back, I'm not answering. He called back, I didn't answer, I kept going.
his reaction was that way because the way he saw it is, why not? So he
Mhm.
figured like, why not? I'm if you gonna leave the door open, I'm gonna keep trying to walk through it.
I'm gonna keep trying. Right. Yep. And
And
I
then
closed that motherfucker.
once you closed it, it was like, damn, for real, like it's like that. Like then it becomes the aggressive response, like, what's up with you? Like, I made a mistake. My apology. You have a good night. Like then it has to be that from you because it's
Mhm.
all right, cool. You showed me twice.
Mhm.
Fool, what is it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Correct.
Fool me three times, yeah.
Mhm.
Nah, but you know what? I think that is the thing because sometimes we be so quick to blame everybody else for different things, and I always ask a lot of people. I gotta ask because I like to know the mechanism. I like to get to the root of something. So we not gonna be sitting here talking in circles, and you just gonna keep blaming me, blaming me, blaming me. But
Right.
how you play
Because
a part in
eventually we have to look at self because it's not only just okay, like dude or chick or whatever. Like, what did you do to get to this point? Obviously, you did something as well.
it?
hmm
Okay. But I think we all got a hard time. Like I stated, that was the question I asked earlier because I feel like we all got a hard time, like just looking at ourselves. And then it's easier to make ourselves the victim, and it's easier to become like more closed off to different things. And then you have to be accountable for the snowball effect that happens after you allowing yourself to shut down because of somebody else or how somebody else played on you. I think the biggest thing that I've ever learned was that yeah, I'm not always responsible for like the shit that happened to me earlier on in life, but I'm still accountable for my healing. You understand what I'm saying? And however that looks for me, like I'm responsible for that. And I gotta take the opportunities to make sure I'm doing what I need to do to make sure that I could become the person that I would like to become. Cause who we gonna be sitting out here blaming everybody else? Oh, I'm in a bad way because my baby mama took everything. Bitch, what they tell you when they let y'all asses out of slavery? Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And I ain't saying it's gonna be easy though. I'm not saying that it's ever something that's some easy feat. It feel like it'd be a lot of things that can hold you back in a moment. But if it's something that you really want, I ain't what they say. I ain't never seen a crackhead talking about some, nah, I guess I just ain't gonna smoke today. Nah, guess what? That crackhead gonna go get what they need to go smoke that crack. And you gotta be the same way. Go get what you need to do exactly what you need to do. Shit, cause what we really doing? And I think that's one of the questions I ask myself the most, like, what you doing?
Mhm.
I be trying to figure out where I'm going in life. You keep meeting the same people, ending up in the same patterns, doing the same thing, and you constantly questioning everybody else. Now I think it's probably about how
Got to
time
question yourself now.
you yeah.
Cause it's like,
Like
yeah, yeah, I agree. It's like, okay, the first two times it's like, okay, okay, but it's like, okay, this is like what, the eighth time? You
mm,
are the common denominator.
yeah, I could feel that
Yeah,
too. I don't know.
yeah.
I really don't. I really won't understand like what the disconnect is between like that whole like what they call knowing and becoming. I mean, becoming
Okay.
the difference between becoming and knowing. It's one thing to know, but then it's a different thing to become what you know. So, and I really feel like that's accountability in action, essentially. You know better, you do better, but we have a hard time doing better. And me myself, I personally struggle. Oh, uh
Oh, okay. Something
oh my
happened
God!
to his
I didn't even know
connection,
you had
I
got
think.
kicked off the stage like
Sorry
that.
about
Okay.
that.
It's okay. It
But
happened.
yeah, but that I guess that's my biggest hang up though. Like you could
Hmm.
have all this knowledge on how to become a rich person, but then you got it, but you never apply it. Then it just don't
Right.
feel like you can apply it. Cause then it's like, oh, I guess I could open a trust. I could save some money and get $10,000 and start a trust and do something, or Da 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 da. But I don't know. You just talk yourself out of it. All the little steps that you could have been taking to get to where you was trying to get to in the first place, you kind of just wipe the slate clean. The same way when we enter back into relationships with people, and this the same way that you said, Mr. Accountability. Like you'll peep, you'll peep the red flags in the door, and you'll be like, "Oh, it's just a roller coaster, wee!" Like, fuck you talking
Hmm.
about? Like, let's do it again. So, nah, I think it's just different dynamics, different metrics to about how serious you take yourself. I don't think accountability ever has anything to do with anybody else, but it's really pattern recognition within yourself and being courageous enough to make the changes that you need to make to do better for yourself.
Yeah.
Y'all seen that little it's this video of a daddy and a son, and they in like some little dojo or whatever. And he got the daddy doing push-ups with the son on the back. And he was telling him like, "Oh, see, when you don't pull your weight, your daddy got to carry all of the weight for you and
Yeah, I
from
seen
your
that.
and you, essentially." And I kind of feel like that's what that is. Like it's a lot of things where people want you to carry them, and that's why I talk about like people don't know how they weigh on people, and that's why they don't know how much accountability you weigh because you don't know how much you weigh. And I don't mean in the
That's
sense of
true.
like I'm
Yeah.
wide built, like yeah I got some thick thighs. No, I mean in the sense of like how you show up in other people's lives, how much you weigh in other
Yes.
people's lives. You got somebody who I like. Okay, I say this. You got a girl, and y'all, and you struggling, and your girl ain't willing to pay no bills, help you do nothing, ain't willing to take you to get nothing, help you fix anything. She not willing to do nothing. That's a different type of weight. Cause now I still gotta go and find somebody to have my back outside of you. It's a what you said? Oh, he said she a liability. But yeah, like so it's them type of
That
things.
part.
And you do become liabilities essentially because I can't put none of my weight on you, but you can put all of your weight on me. And then the idea that we still show up, and then what you call it? Oh, I'm a people pleaser.
Mm.
So I don't know. It's just it's a lot of things. Like we all got this knowledge of how we done fucked up a million and one times. But why we don't ever do nothing about it?
100%.
Mhm.
Y'all gonna have to tell me why we got all this knowledge and don't ever do nothing about it.
A lot of people are afraid of the what if, but it's like you take chances
What's
every
on
day
the
of your
other
life. You
side?
took a chance the first time you did an application and applied for a job. You took a chance first time you had a kid. You took a chance first time you had sex. Like a lot of people don't want to take other chances with things that they feel, oh, this may affect my life worse. Motherfucker, you just had sex for the first time. You just had unprotected sex the second time. You taking chances every day. So why not try the next one? But people are just it's fear. It's fear of the unknown. But you don't know what you don't know. So you either gonna try it or you not.
Miss Gucci, what you think?
I agree with that. You have to know what's on the other side of that. You just can't be living in fear. You just gotta go at it and do it, and be the best at it. Can't be scared all you want.
100%.
Well, people be scared
Mhm.
all the time. All my life I had to fight. The girl child just
Mm-mm.
ain't scared growing up in a house full of men. That's what we found out. I don't know. I just think we got like culturally everybody calls for accountability, but in real life, don't nobody got no real accountability for real, for real. And that's really just
Mm-mm.
how we feeling half the time. Even in when we think about these 50-50 conversations, when we got all these divorce conversations, all that shit, you got all these men talking to these women, telling these women, oh, women benefit from divorce, da 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 da. Let me tell you something, sir. In the middle class America, women do not benefit from a divorce. As a matter of fact, in middle class, people separated. Actually, they
What middle
usually
class?
end
What
up broken.
continue?
What you said?
I said, what middle class? What continue?
What
I
you
get what you're
said?
going. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. And then let me tell you. And then if you on my tier, the working poor tier, bitch, you definitely not walking away with nothing. So the way I
Oh
be
yeah.
feeling is like people, we always talk above what it is that we really doing in the first place. So I really think that's kind of what keep that cycle of of knowing versus becoming a big thing for me. It is the idea that we are distracted with so many other things that have nothing to do with us. I do believe that fear plays a big part in it, but I believe that us being distracted by things, which makes us have the ability to believe that we are actually taking accountability for something when we are not. So I don't always just think it's just the ideology of fear, but it's deeper than fear because, as we talked about 2 weeks ago, neocolonialism, of course, and with that conversation, it's just the way that you are conditioned. You're conditioned to second guess yourself. You're conditioned to do all of these things that make you wonder about something. So it's harder for you to take accountability. Even when we talk about how they place God outside of yourself, outside of you. So it's easier to always think, oh, and then and think about that. Accountability is also hard to come by because you got so many religious people who are just spiritually bypass that shit. You got all these people, but I'm not my ancestors. What about the love of God? Like it's just a lot of different things that happen outside the world. But by the grace of God, I was saved. Boy, we don't give a fuck about you being saved by the grace of God, cause it's some shit that be happening that be way uglier than all this shit you think. Yeah, you go ahead, don't let God judge you no more, but it ain't gonna save you from this natural consequence if somebody want to hate you, or if somebody, and maybe that's something else that make it harder, like just because you done accepted what you did and you done got all this accountability within yourself, the world might still not accept that shit. They don't give a fuck about your penance, your accountability, your nothing. And maybe that's why some people feel like they don't really gotta take no accountability, because then what's the point? Shit, they still gonna hate me. They still ain't gonna fuck with me. But I think it go back to what Miss Gucci was saying when she said, it go back to self. You know what I'm saying? Like if you already accepted it, why you gonna let somebody else tell you that it ain't that?
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
And that's just really what it is at the end of the day. Does what does repair look like when the person you harmed doesn't owe you forgiveness?
You said, what does repair look like when the person you harm doesn't owe you forgiveness?
Yeah.
Uh, I would say that just circles all around accountability and being able to be a better you, because karma is a motherfucker, and you gonna get your karma, right? That's just what it is, and you got to understand in that moment, damn, this happened, and now it's really hitting me as to what I did. So I have to fix myself, because I know when that happens to me, I'm on the other side. I got to be able to realize and express, like, yo, look, I get why you did this, or I understand why you did this, because I was in that position before and I did this. So repair is fixing what you did with yourself. Like even though the person is gone or the person don't want to forgive you, you still got to fix it with yourself, because you
Yep.
can't go around doing these things thinking it's okay, because over time you'll begin to tell yourself, oh no, it's cool. They didn't say nothing. It's cool. They didn't forgive me. Or it's cool. It is what it is. Like you begin to tell yourself some things, so you'll keep doing it, thinking shit, it's cool when it's not.
Have any of you ever become something you once needed protection from to somebody else?
You said, have you ever what?
Became something that you once needed protection from to somebody else.
And something that wants me to touch from.
Like, let's say somebody did something to you and you did that to somebody else.
I wouldn't say that for myself because I'm not a big monkey see, monkey do person. Like I'm big on genuinely caring about people, whether I fuck with you or not.
Mhm.
I think he'll be back. He gone for you too. I always just think I
Okay, so
could.
my yeah,
My bad.
so I'm not vindictive. I'm not vindictive, so no. Just because somebody did me one way, I'm not gonna go out there and do the next person the same way. No,
Yeah, like
I'm not doing that. That's
like
foul.
it is
I'm a
true
bad
what they say
person because
though.
it done showed up in my life in a lot of different ways. I could think even about being uninterested in a guy and treating him the way that some guy that was uninterested in me treated me. So like I think it just show up in different
I was
ways
about to say
sometimes.
that too because that can happen subconsciously. It can. Yeah.
And so I think
Yeah.
it was the idea of even just becoming aware of that. Like even if I'm driving and I'll see somebody just turn out in front of me, won't turn no blinker on, won't do none of that shit. And I get mad like bitch, I don't know. And then I'll be like, oh, I probably look like that from behind anyway. Cause I'll be driving. And when I tell you I'll be up doing some shit, like, yeah, so it's those type of unconscious moments that also put accountability into perspective for me because it's the everyday things that I unconsciously do that perpetuate the bigger habits that I'm seeing. They might not be as often as they used to be, but they still play out on certain levels. So when I'm sitting here and I'm talking about, oh, we're not gonna da 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 da, you're not gonna spend any money, you're gonna save your money and do do da, and then somebody call you and be like, oh my gosh, my car just broke down, I need $300, and you just kind of like, now I already sold this, and then you know it's a person who don't never pay you back on time. And now you understand something. You finna set yourself back if you send them that money. And
Yeah,
I feel like it's those types of things that really put accountability into perspective for me. You know, even keeping my boundaries, even when I want to say, of course, because I need to put that people pleaser away just as much. So like, that's really how accountability play out for me. And not everything that I do is not me just trying to be vindictive. Sometimes that uninterested factor it just play out that way sometimes, and I can come off as very rude or non-emotional, just very not interested. And sometimes I just flat out tell you, like, baby, I'm just I'm not interested. I'm just not interested. And 9 times out of 10, I'm probably not interested. Like, and
Yeah.
most people, they and me just thinking about who I am. Most people don't they don't do it for me mentally, and so I find myself I find myself less turned on by a lot of shit, more turned off by more things in the world than people because people just so unaware, so assuming though, more than
Yes.
anything.
Yeah.
So
So you're intellectually starved.
I will say I won't say that I'm intellectually starved. I would say that for if I wanted something more, it's hard to come by. But I don't think it's I'm starved because I find conversations everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the ideal of being to have conversations with somebody that y'all both could go deep inside of each other. Most people you talk to on a day-to-day basis, you just talking in passing. You know what I'm saying? And a
yeah,
lot of times I gotta tell people often like it's not. I want a place where people utilize the space just as much as I'm gonna utilize the space. And I'm a talker and I'm a writer too. So a lot of shit it's gonna happen. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm gonna be talking my shit. I'll be thinking about something. Take out my phone. I'm gonna start writing on my phone. I don't know what the fuck you gonna see. Y'all be like, this bitch is crazy. I probably look
Mm.
like a madman half the time. I'm not gonna cap to you, but like for me, It's just a thing of people being able to exist in a space. You know, it's not even possession. It's not anything of that nature. And I think that being in those type of relationships with people have made me understand a lot more about myself. Just the type of caliber of person I would want to keep around myself, or how that would affect me. What's up? What's up? Tarian, how you feeling? How you feel? I'm glad to see you're here. Thanks for joining. But in hindsight, when I go back and I think about all of the things that I could have been doing, or all of that shit, it don't really matter at the end of the day, because at the beginning of the day, you still got you. You feel me? Like, yes,
That's
I
what
am
it
in the
is.
car, and that not. And I didn't. I wasn't gonna do the podcast in the car. Actually, I was gonna do it in the house like I always do in front of the light. And I started thinking to myself, because I was like, "Oh shit, it's gonna get dark. They're not gonna be able to see me." But absolutely, yeah, okay. Because people be fucking with me from the earlier days. Yeah, I ain't been in the car in a while. Actually, always somewhere else doing something else. Nah, trying to get better at this, but. I appreciate you. I always appreciate the love and support from y'all, for sure, for sure. But back to accountability. But yeah, so shit be hard, because it be little things that still be touching us up that we don't really be wanting to be honest about, to ourselves. Really admitting hard things. Like, you can imagine doing something and you can't walk back from it. There's just a lot of shit that I done did in life that I'll never be like, oh no, I never did. Yes, bitch, I did it. And if you cross me like that again, I'll do it again, bitch. I need y'all to understand that reformation is always up for grabs. Because I will turn back real quick, bitch. Stop trying me. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm trying to be a better person, but you bringing out all of my demons, and you want to settle at the bottom of this abyss, bitch. Let's go there. I'll be random. But I think that's the biggest issue with me, is that I've always been like an eyes wide open person. So anytime I don't walk into another situation, I'm like, oh, I can already see how this person acts or what this person do, and I'm like, okay, let's play ball. At the end of the day, whatever happened, I already signed up for it. And it's kind of like a person getting mad at you, and then you kind of like, dang, you just too mad, and the person is gonna tell you, like, you can't tell me how mad I could be. And indeed, I can't. You get to be as bad as you want to be. You don't get to tell no earthquake how much of the Richter scale it can hit. It just happened, don't it? That's just what it do. You can't make nobody, and you got to be accountable for that type of shit in that type of way. You can't just be thinking like, oh, my feelings are hurt. That's what you were saying earlier, Miss Lucy. Like, oh, somebody just hurt my feelings. Now you got to be able to put your feelings aside and see how you actually look to somebody in the first fucking place. Oh, this how you came off. Oh, okay. People don't be able to accept how you reflect them back to them. And I think that's
Right.
even a big issue. So now you hurting my
Hmm.
feelings. Now we're gonna talk about how your actions just hurt my feelings, instead of talking about how my actions hurt you in the first place. No, bitch.
Right.
We're not doing that. People be on my nerves in real life, because people really don't know how to have conversations. So I don't think we can ever get to accountability, because ain't no conversation about it really being had.
That's right now.
Yeah.
Everybody just
Mm-mm.
sitting around pointing the finger. I watch so many guys on social media talk, and women too. I ain't gonna just say it's a guy thing, but I really notice it from a lot of guys, and I hate to say it like this, but I'm not saying that it's weak of them. I'm saying you can see how hurt they've been. you
Yep.
and it's a sense of women just really done fucked them over, and I don't know where it come from or who done did it. But I was having a conversation with my brother, and he was saying like women manipulate men, and I said, well, how women manipulate men? Because they know our weaknesses. I said, well, let me ask you. I said, well, what's your weaknesses? He said like fat asses. And I said, that's your fault. Like, you know your weakness as well. Like, so you gonna say a woman manipulated you because she came over in a short dress, showing off her fat
With
ass
a
or
fat
whatever the
ass.
case may be. And now you done spent all this money on her, or you done did all of this, but that's your fault because you understood what was your weakness in the first place and you fell victim to that. The ideal that we can sit here and have this conversation and you can tell me that fat ass is your weakness and then you done lost all your money tricking on a bitch with a fat ass. What we talking?
Right.
You predict your own future in the first place. That's like, I don't know, wax on, wax off. Mr. Miyagi ain't teach us enough, obviously, because what we and that's why I be asking myself, like, what the fuck is we doing there? I don't think we got enough. Like, I don't think we dig deep enough. We can sit here and talk about how much shit we done failed at, how we couldn't become the basketball player that we wanted to become, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, if you still utilizing the options that you got in place to become something more, something different, something that could advance this shit. Yeah, you couldn't go be the doctor, but okay, you could be the science behind the products that's coming out for healthcare or some shit like that.
Mhm.
Everything don't gotta be considered a dead end because it wasn't your first option. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
and it's hard. It's hard to get back up after you done got knocked down a million and one times and shit didn't seem to work out for you or some shit like that. You feel me? So,
Right.
y'all got anything y'all want to say? Cause I feel like I've been talking a lot.
No, I definitely agree with the things you've been saying. 100%. I know, like I said, being able to be accountable. People, if you in a situation and you do something, start breaking the situation down and fix one thing about the situation at a time. It's gonna keep coming up until you
Yes.
fix it all. But if you can't fix it all, that's okay. Fix one thing about that situation and keep breaking it down piece by piece by piece until, okay, cool. I got to the root of it and I've learned how to fix the situation as a whole. But if I'm steady spending my money on people that don't deserve it, I'm gonna start to tell myself, okay, cool. The next time I want to spend some money, I'm gonna spend it on myself. The next time I want to spend some money on this person, I'm gonna go and buy food, or I'm gonna go and buy something for me to work on. Like I'm gonna start micromanaging my money and using it in different areas, right? So now I've fixed not spending money on women or women spending money on men. Now I got to figure out how can I stop spending all this money and start saving it instead of having to, okay, I got to resort to spending money on going and buying paint gear to go paint. How do I save it now? Like you just take steps.
That's right. Yeah.
Miss Gucci, you got anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Any closing words? Anything you
I
guys would like to
thoroughly
say
en-
to the people?
I thoroughly enjoyed this session. It was very nice, and I like it.
Same, same.
It was good.
For
Well,
me,
uh,
yeah, for me, I'll just say stop using excuses and calling them reasons. Once you start doing that, you'll see a change in your life.
Yes, you will.
I totally
As
agree with
stated
that.
earlier, it starts with self.
Yeah,
Take time to sit with self, because before you can go to anyone else to say, "Hey, look at me," look at yourself first. That's the key.
100%.
Hmm.
I appreciate y'all for coming on to the immersive experience and having this conversation about the weight of accountability with me because it's something that I've been sitting with for a while actually. So I'm happy that I was able to express my thoughts. I hope you guys were able to express your thoughts as well, even though you guys were very quiet. It's okay. um, I understand that we are on the same page about it. Motherfuckers do hate accountability. I agree with that shit
Yeah.
wholeheartedly. They don't really want no accountability. Y'all don't want no smoke. Shit. I'll be trying to air bitches out. Y'all be like,
Hey,
no,
real
don't say it
recognize
like this.
real. Real
Yeah,
recognize real.
You feel me? Yeah. So I'll be
Yeah.
ready. And the only reason I'll be ready is because I don't recognize a lot of shit within myself. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't coming to nobody talking
Right.
about no accountability because it's something that I had to process and sit with myself. One thing that I learned uh, while on this journey is that we gotta receive our own wisdom first. You can talk about how you
Yes.
got all wisdom and God done did this or the universe done gave you this or you done been blessed with a gift. But if you ain't able to sit in that shit first and process it for yourself first, then baby, you the poor friend giving rich advice. And that's all I'ma say. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Immersive Experience. And I hope to see you guys next week at 8 p.m. EST. Have a good one.
All right, y'all.